Let's go to the panel, which I'm going to moderate. So I would like to, we're going to talk about, space diplomacy, strategic cooperation. I'd like to ask on the panel to come Mr. Eliades. He's the Director for Investment Promotion and Enterprise Greece. Also, Ms. Silvia Ciccarelli. She's the Head of Industrial Internationalization Sector at the ASI, International Affairs Directorate. Also, Maria Konstantinou, she's the Chair at the Cyprus Space Industry Association. And Mr. Andreas Christofe, he's the Administration Manager at the Eratosthenes Center of Excellence. And also Mr. Giorgio Saccocia, he's the President of Europe of VAST, we talked before. So please sit down. And so I would like to start with Ms. Ciccarelli, that comes from the Italian Space Agency. Because we're talking about space diplomacy, it has become an increasingly important part of international relations. From your perspective, why is international cooperation more important than ever for the future of the global space sector?
Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you can hear me. Just give me a confirmation.
Yeah, we can hear you perfectly.
Very good. So good afternoon, everybody, to the other guests and the panelists of the panel, and to all the audience. I'm really glad to be here. I will go straight to your question. So as mentioned also during the previous speeches that introduced this panel, space is an history of cooperation. So international space diplomacy and international cooperation is one pillar of space, and it is also one pillar of the institutional mandate of Italian Space Agency. Together with the support of industrial competitiveness. This is due to the fact that we are convinced that international cooperation and space diplomacy is also a crucial tool to support industrial competitiveness. For this reason, I would like to say that considering the different conditions that we have now at the international level in the space ecosystem, we should probably consider a broader definition of space diplomacy. Not only connected to a political aspect, but to a broader aspect. So while so far, until a couple of decades ago, international cooperation in space was mainly driven by institutions and space agency. Now it is, let's say, it's a more hybrid context where industry and private entities are playing an increasingly important role, and this also changes somehow the role of space agencies. This is why I believe that we should not only speak about space diplomacy, but rather of space economic diplomacy, intended as the ability to transform institutional relationships into concrete opportunities, first of all for industry, for who does the space activities. So first of all, industry, but also research organization, and more in general, the innovation ecosystems. So as Italian Space Agency, this is exactly the direction that we are pursuing. For this reason, we are placing a growing attention to the possibility of stimulating and encouraging international cooperation at industrial level, first of all, through different kinds of initiatives that we implement. In particular, for example, the organization of different kinds of initiatives, starting from virtual meetings and going step by step towards more concrete occasions of exchange and networking is something that we implement at space agency level.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Can you wrap it up a little bit?
I just wanted to mention the fact that with respect to the Greek relationship, of course, as mentioned during the introduction, we have an MOU, and we are starting interactions also with the Cyprus colleagues. And I stop here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, now I'm moving on to talking about VAST. And you mentioned before some things that you have in your presentation. But what I would like to talk about is that we've seen we're entering a new era where commercial space companies are playing a much bigger role than ever before. How is this changing international cooperation with the private sector, are creating new opportunities beyond traditional government-led programs?
Thank you. Very, very good question. Well, in a way, this was mentioned already by Silvia Ciccarelli before. While in the past, space was an instrument of diplomacy mainly for sovereign countries. I mean, an excellent instrument because agreement and initiative on space were used by government in different way. I think I recall this when I was indeed in the Italian Space Agency and TISA. There were countries maybe with a very well-established tradition in space that maybe they were signing an agreement with new countries, not because they were looking mainly for a return on their space activities, but because space was something that could trigger a return on the country in other areas. Or the agreement were signed because indeed there was a strong interest in making collaboration on specific programs. But this was, again, mainly something that institutions were using. Today, companies and private initiatives are complementing these instruments of interaction, diplomatic interactions, because more and more space is becoming an hybrid type of collaboration. I mean, you have resources and initiative for space activities that are not just funded anymore by government, but often they find their initiative. I mean, I told you what happened with VAST. VAST is the result of a purely private initiative that now is interacting with sovereign countries.
So what you're saying is that we're moving into a space world, let's put it this way, that we have more private, the role of the private organizations are much, much more important. We're not just talking about the US.
It's not just that is important because it starts from private initiative, but it can expand into a diplomatic role that support governments to establish collaboration between themselves. And this is a very delicate, in a way, is one of my role now here in Europe, representing VAST in Europe, is also to bridge with what could be the interest of the sovereign countries, also in terms of diplomatic return, not only opportunities for.
So you're building new bridges. That's what you're saying.
That's what space does by definition, and what companies are doing today.
Okay. The same thing goes also for research centers, and I would like Mr. Christofe to talk about a little bit that, because research centers increasingly act as bridges between science, governments, and industry. Here, all three. How important is this role in fostering international cooperation and transforming research into real-world impact? So, We've heard about the Eratosthenes before.
So you heard about Diophantos before. So I believe that research center's role becomes very important as we see now, because we're trying to bridge this gap between researchers, government, industry, and all the players in these fields. Actually, we're trying to bring all this together in order to face all these complex challenges we have to face. So in Eratosthenes, we feel that we are trusted partners for these entities, so we can transform Earth observation satellite data into practical solutions. So we can actually help this environment within our role to bridge this gap.
Okay.
So you ask about the international, if I'm our
International cooperation, how your role in this international cooperation that we're talking about?
Actually, it's very essential because, all these challenges are borderless.
Yeah.
There's no borders between the challenges. We face all the same challenges, droughts,
So research
wildfires.
is also cooperating. The researchers around Europe, for example, are cooperating together. That's what you're saying.
We face common challenges, so
You have to-
we have to cooperate.
Okay.
There's no other way to do this. And one last thing, if I'm allowed.
Yeah.
I don't want to be. I believe that our role, the Center of Excellence, is not our ability to create only scientific and research and papers. Our role is our ability to give solutions to the society. So I think that is our main role, to give solutions to everyday life.
Don't do a lot of research just for the research.
Yeah,
but
you have to do
to address the real problem.
Yeah. You have to face the real problem. That's actually that's the reason we established from European Union.
Perfect. Okay, I will go to Mr. Eliades now, because we're talking about investment, and investments in general has been one of the key drivers of the new space economy. What makes Greece an attractive destination for international space companies and technology investors today?
First of all, thank you very much for inviting us. We have a long-standing collaboration with HASI and the Space Tech Forum. I'm here today representing Enterprise Greece, which is the national investment and trade promotion arm of the Greek state, an organization which has a twofold mandate to attract, promote, and facilitate private investments in Greece, on the one hand, and on the other, we're helping Greek companies to export their products and services globally through specific actions we organize every year, so on an annual basis. So undoubtedly, without any doubt, I will say that Greece is increasingly positioned as an attractive destination for investments in space and space-enabled applications. If we would like to see which are those factors that lie behind these attractiveness, is a combination of specific things. I will not reinvent the wheel. I will talk about the obvious, but sometimes the obvious is the most crucial thing.
Simple is the best answer, yeah?
Yeah. The thing is that, first of all, we have strong engineering talent. This is the key advantage of Greece, the most important advantage. Secondly, we have competitive operating costs, and we can serve as a base for a cost-efficient R&D activity. If we compare Greece, especially if we compare Greece with other, especially European markets. Thirdly, we offer access to EU markets and Eurozone, which is very, very important as well. We have a growing ecosystem in space applications, defense systems, and advanced communications, which is very, very important as well as an element. Thirdly, we have a geostrategic position because Greece, as we all know, lies at the crossroads of three continents, or we're connecting Europe, Asia, and Africa. So Greece is an ideal place of expanding investments or expanding new investment activities. And last but not least, we're talking about a public sector that is in favor of value-added investments, especially in the technology sector.
Okay, so we're talking about, okay, so now let's go to a different subject, meaning talking about collaboration between, you know, in the whole Eastern Mediterranean region. Okay, so I will start with Mr. Christofe. So because you've talked about that, common problems, and you have made, as Eratosthenes, a lot of collaboration across Europe and beyond. Where do you see the greatest opportunities for regional cooperation in things like Earth observation and space applications?
Actually, it's the common challenges I mentioned before.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Yeah, we have, for example, we face Italy, Cyprus, Greece. We have the illegal immigration, so we can help on this way to detect actually immigrants. We have droughts. We have water management is very crucial thing. We have wildfires. Actually, last year, we had a big fire in Cyprus. So our authorities, Eratosthenes, gave them the estimation of the burn area. You know, actually as soon as the fire finish. So the authorities that take their, the ecological impact and everything, all the impact we had to the society. Very easy. We have other aspects we can share in the area because, as you know, Eastern Mediterranean is dynamic and vulnerable
yeah, and it
area.
has a lot of challenges in a lot of ways, yeah?
In a lot of ways. So actually, as we face the common challenges, we can use our Earth observation services, okay, between the countries in the Mediterranean, so we can help our governments, our citizens.
The microphone a little bit.
Sorry. We can help our governments, our citizens, even the industry, to become part of the solution.
Okay. In the same subject, I would like to ask Ms. Ciccarelli. Okay, Italy is one of the biggest players in terms of the space industry in the European ecosystem of space. Where do you see new opportunities for cooperation with Greece and Cyprus? You're on mute, sorry. Either you're...
I'm not on mute, actually.
No, we can hear you, yeah.
Okay. You mentioned the fact that we have a strong industrial ecosystem, and yes, I can confirm that our industrial ecosystem is not only consolidated as strong, but is also very much internationally oriented, I would say. And in the case of Greece, I have to say that more than 2 decades ago, it was exactly the Italian space industry that started the first collaboration with Greece, considering it a very promising and interesting ecosystem. So again, the industrial stimulating and the leveraging industrial relationships is really crucial. And this first preliminary industrial relations, definitely in the case of the relationship between Italy and Greece, opened the door for the institutional agreement that then followed. It was mentioned the MOU between Italy, between the Italian Space Agency and the Hellenic Space Center, but also at higher level, at the level of ministries, also thanks to a recent initiative here in Rome. But I have to say that in this case, even the industrial initiative anticipated the institutional one. And so we want to continue working on there and stimulating and leveraging this initiative. In the case of Cyprus, let me just mention the fact that we started first relationships and we visited the Eratosthenes Center of Excellence just 1 month month ago, and we are exactly at the point of building step by step the first relations. First by meetings and visits, and then hopefully creating after the summer break concrete initiatives also involving our industry and research entities on both countries.
Okay, that's really interesting. So I would like to ask Mr. Eliades, in terms of that cooperation that we're talking, how can Greece build an ecosystem where international companies chose not only to invest but also to establish long-term R&D and innovation activities? How do this going on?
The answer for me is very simple. One could say that create the suitable investment incentive scheme so as to attract R&D activity, but that's not the case. Okay, the creation, let's say the creation of the suitable investment in incentive schemes is the one part of the story and is very critical. However, I think that the priority should be to strengthen the collaboration between industry, universities, research institutes, and startup companies. So if you create this ecosystem, then companies wishing to expand their activities and wishing to innovate, they will find their way to activate their, let's say, activities within the Greek market or wherever they decide to expand. So the core thing is to create this ecosystem. And then, of course, incentives are critical also in the procedure, but it's not the first in the list of priorities.
Mr. Saccocia, in this talk, because VAST represents, some would say, the next generation of commercial space companies, what would you like to see from governments and international partners in order to accelerate innovation and unlock the full potential of the commercial space economy?
From the point of view of VAST is offering access to low Earth orbit to do experimentation in microgravity, technology demonstrations, I mean, to develop product in microgravity situation. And as I showed in my presentation, we're also offering now an innovative satellite platform to fly payload of different types. So in this respect, approaching other companies or other governments, what we expect from those governments is that they would facilitate an access from companies, from organizations in their countries to opportunities abroad. And to do this, what is necessary sometimes is to create the right frame for exchange, for partnerships that would see well in the future, say.
So create more future initiatives.
Yeah, just to give you an idea, I mean, we're talking about Greece, Cyprus, etc., who are countries that contribute to ESA, for example. What we hope to do, for example, in the future is to have a good frame of collaboration with ESA that could be beneficial for current and future member states that could access through ESA, for example, to the opportunity.
Greece, Italy, and Cyprus should make a nucleus of regional or stronger regional space coordination, which one should be the first initiative that they should take? The one
I missed what you said.
I said if Greece, Cyprus, and Italy came together more closely in terms of regional cooperation, what should be their first joint initiative in that sense? We're talking about space, yeah.
Between the three countries?
Between the three, in order to, have a stronger role in the whole European space.
Well, it was mentioned before, of course, because there are common challenges, common issues that, in particular, for example, in the Mediterranean region, are shared. I think that the three countries should put together their capacity to procure data and to elaborate those data.
Ms. Ciccarelli, the first joint initiative, what could be a first joint initiative between Italy, Greece, and Cyprus in order
Well,
to...
Yeah, I would suggest very concretely to arrange a trilateral space industry workshop introduced and sponsored by the three institutions of the three countries, but involving the ecosystems of the three countries. And
So bring the ecosystems together, yeah.
yeah, and we could bring the direction, meaning defining which vulnerabilities or challenges we give priority to, but we should arrange something like that involving our three ecosystems.
Okay, Mr. Christofe?
I,
30 seconds, just only that.
I agree with my...
Yeah, okay.
Because actually...
But the first joint
the
initiative...
first joint initiative for me is a joint Earth observation climate resilient platform.
Climate, okay. We're
Okay,
going to talk about that afterwards.
So we can share our expertise, our infrastructures...
And your data.
And everything, yes.
Okay, Mr. Eliades?
Joint Earth Observation and Space Data Initiative focused on maritime security, climate resilience, disaster response, and civil protection.
Okay, thanks very much everybody. Ένα χειροκρότημα παρακαλώ.